All right, 5:30.
In the new, but that one I
Flag of the United States of America and to the republic which stands one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. This meeting tonight is in two parts. In the first part of this meeting, it's an introduction. We call it a meeting of the whole. And I'm going to address the board and the people in the audience to let you know what you can expect from me, my 4-year plan for the village, and what I expect from the trustees. So we're going to start basically with me and let you all know I'm not a politician. I'm a retired iron worker. I'm a dad. I'm a husband. I've lived in this community for over 30 years. So I'm always going to be open and honest with what's going on and make sure anybody in the community or anybody that needs information, I give it to them. And that's going to be my job. I took an oath on the 5th to uphold the Constitution and do the job to the best of my ability, and that's my intent. As some of the trustees know, and I've explained to them, and I'll explain to everybody in the audience tonight, I won't spend money we don't have, and that includes TIF or sewer fund. Those accounts are separate from the village in the fact that TIF money can only be used in certain circumstances and in certain areas. The same thing with our sewer account. It's not my money, it's the village's money. We have a chairman of the finances, and if I have to buy something, I check with him if we have the money, but we are not going to spend money if we don't have it to spend. The next thing I want to bring up is I've talked to quite a few people here in the last several months. A lot of people feel confident enough to talk to me and explain to me about problems they may have, things they'd like to see, and that's what I want from the community. If you need to get a hold of me, I will give you my card, my phone number's on there. I will set up an appointment at the village hall on Saturday or Sunday, whenever you want, to listen what your concerns are. The people that voted for me, I work for you guys, you don't work for me. So that's how that goes with that. I'm gonna back the board up. As long as they know everything they do is for the best of the community, I'm behind them 100%. If you don't have confidence in your board, then I can't do this job alone. So I want them to know from today on, they have any questions, any problems, to please let me know and we will work through those problems. If I need to meet with them privately to discuss something, I think the best thing to do is talk about it privately. Don't have our differences here at a village board meeting. It shows that you're not professional and that you don't have confidence in the people that are near you. So I don't like that. Are we always going to agree? I doubt it. But maybe once in a while, surprisingly, we will agree on a topic. And if I have something on the agenda that I want to see the village head to in that direction, I will speak to the board and say, this is what I would like to see. Board members have to know they have the power. I conduct the meeting. They make the rules. And I will back the board 100% on whatever we do. Now, there's going to be people that will be probably upset with decisions that board members make. If you're going to be mad, if you're going to be angry, you have the right to, but be angry at me. Don't be angry at board members. In the past, we've had people that go on Facebook and rip into somebody because things didn't go the way they wanted to. And I can't say they're not allowed to do that, but direct your anger towards me. I took this job knowing fully what to expect from it. But under Illinois law, elected officials are protected under law from threats, from intimidation, and it's a felony. And I will not hesitate to do whatever I have to protect the board. In the past, there has been comments made of a business or blocking someone in their own driveway or hoping someone falls and gets hurt, and there's no need for that. Are you going to agree with me all the time? No, but act like an adult and say, I don't agree on your policy. But these people here are doing a job, and I'm behind them 100% on that. It's not an easy job. If it was an easy job, you would have more than one person applying for an open position. I would like to see many people apply when there's an opening, but that's not always the case. So the next thing I had to make, since I'm an old person, I had to make little notes so I don't lose track of where I'm at. So the next thing I want to talk about is the trustees and what do I expect. What I expect from the trustees is involvement in your job and in the community. A lot of times we do things for the community, for the community's good, but there's a small handful of people that actually work at this, and it's hard. One of our gentlemen right now, Bob Sherman, well, he'll be leaving our community, and for a number of years, he was the one who took care of getting flowers from Sunrise for us for free. We're the only village left that gets them, and we don't pay for the flowers. So I went to Sunrise the other day, met with Dan, the owner, told him that I would be taking over where Bob leaves off. Bob's going to give me instructions on what happens at the end of the season, and we're going to keep trying to keep the program going as long as possible. It's a nice touch for the village. I appreciate it. Bob has given a lot of time. He was mayor for 2 terms here. He started a lot of programs in our community. He was instrumental in starting the Chamber of Commerce, and we had a meeting the other night and we discussed it. And on our way to Sunrise the other day, we talked about the direction we wanted to head, what would be the best for the village. You know, I'm trying to, with the help of the trustees, I'm trying to make decisions what's good for the whole community. And I don't know what everybody thinks. I can talk to 10 different people and I get 10 different answers. So I'm going to try my very best. Just keep in mind that I'm always open to suggestions, and I will do anything that I possibly can to use your idea. If I don't, doesn't mean that I'm not listening to you. It's just that I have a lot of different decisions to make. I want the trustees to learn each other's jobs. If any one of us have not been able to participate for whatever reason, we have to learn. If I gave all this paperwork, this gentleman next to me, and say, okay, your finances, and you'd say, what am I supposed to do with this? Well, bills still have to be paid, and the business of the village is going to continue on. And if I'm not here, or if Mr. Brower's not here, the Swirl's not here, the Sweetle's not here, the clerk's not here, we still have to continue on. So we're going to try the best we can. You're on subcommittees, and everybody has their paper showing what committees you're on. So what we're going to do here in the near future, I talked to the building inspector, Chris Carstensen. He is going to come once a quarter, 4 times a year, to fill us in on where we are with building permits, what's going on in the village. Are we up to date on everything? Because maybe I don't know everything that's going on and I can't report it back to the trustees at a meeting. So he's going to keep us filled in. 4 times a year, he's a businessman. He's not always here in town, but he said, no problem, I'd be happy to. So I expect the trustees to have a committee meeting, same time. 4 times a year, bring to the board what you need to. If you remember, when we went visiting other communities, we went in the middle of the day to Peatone, and what were they doing when we walked in? They were having a committee meeting at 10 o'clock in the morning whenever we got there. So it's not unusual. We meet every 2 weeks. Do things come up all the time? They do. Not long ago, a gentleman here that's on our board gave me this book. And inside of the book, there's a calendar. And I kept it, and it shows in here what's happening in every month through the whole year. And I could look on there and say, well, that doesn't pertain to us, but this does. So it's helpful. One job is going to blend into the next job. It's not going to be, if it's not your committee, nothing to worry about. I understand that I'm retired. I have more free time than people that are working. But if you can plan it 4 times a year to get together as a group, you have committee meetings, Mr. Brower. and you get things accomplished and you know what you're going to be doing and how you're going to be going about it. We need to do it too as trustees. We need to work and understand each other's job if we're going to function. If for some reason somebody's not here, somebody has to step down, we have to continue with our jobs and not knowing what we're going to do. Now you have the trustees all got these little packets. And in the packets, it breaks down like this one says building and grounds, but it has everybody's job description in here, from police trustee, buildings and grounds, to financial committee. And these are guidelines. You do not have to use everything that's in here. It's written by the people that were serving in that capacity at the time. So it gives you a basic understanding of what's going on. If it doesn't pertain to what you're doing, then you can come and ask me. If I don't have the answer, I will get you the answer and we'll learn it together. I will say, here's where we need to work on things. Here's what we need to do. Will I have every answer for you? No, but I won't make something up. Don't go in a restaurant. Don't hear what your friend has to say and here's what you should do or not do, because that doesn't serve anybody any good. And you, like I said, you and I, or whoever, someone in the audience, we'll learn it together. I know a little bit, but I don't know everything. So it's a big learning cycle for all of us. The next thing I have on my list is you have to understand you're the ones that do the voting. What I don't want to do is be the tiebreaker. Because when I break a tie, then I'm siding on one side or the other. I want you to get together and talk about, this is what I want to do. What do you think? And come to an agreement. I have the power to veto and bring back to the village board if I don't feel that it's appropriate for the village at that certain time. But I want you to get together, because when I break a tie, all I'm doing is picking sides, and I don't want to pick sides. That doesn't show confidence in the village board. It just said, I'm going to agree with these three people and the other three people. Our village attorney, and this is going to go for the regular trustees know about this. Is for the new trustees. The village attorney represents the village and the protection of the village, not an individual. So if you do something that you need protection from an attorney, you're on your own. Our village attorney watches out for our interests as a village. Executive sessions. If you're not familiar with an executive session, it has to do with litigation and personnel. That's it. And at the end of the meeting, I always ask, is there any need to go in executive session? If you do, we pause the meeting at that time. Everybody clears out, the village board remains. We go in executive session, we discuss what we need to. It's all recorded. But if you think you're going to have to do that, let us know ahead of time, because the clerk has to have the recorder. Otherwise, he has to leave here, go get the recorder, come back and record this. We can't do it on our office system. Executive session matter minutes that we talk about stay here. We don't go discussing outside of here, because if it's something that's going to pertain to litigation, we don't want everybody to know what's going on. It's something that we have to decide on. So far, does anybody or the trustees have any questions concerning what I covered here? So my plan for the village is this. Everybody says, well, what's going to happen? Well, I'm for moderate growth, and moderate growth means just that. I don't want to get too big too quickly, because I can't change things and go back to how it used to be. Everybody likes a small community, but I still have to pay the bills, and I have to have enough growth to pay the bills. And the only way to do that is looking at everything that we do, trying to process it, see if it's the best that we can do for the village. You cannot take the burden and put it on the backs of taxpayers and say, we need this, we need more money, so it's up to you guys to come up with it. We're very fortunate, and I don't think people realize that we have TIF here. I visited nearly every mayor that we have in our county around here, and you were with me on some of them. Not everybody has TIF. what they do is they charge their businesses an additional 1%, and that's how they do their projects. It might work in some communities. I'm not going to say it's a bad thing, but for our community, it's not a good thing. Our businesses are doing what they can to flourish and stay open. I support our school system and I support our businesses. Without those two, there's nothing in this community. The school system attracts families in. Our businesses, believe it or not, I have a list on how many we have here, and people are like, you don't have anything there. And I'm like, oh, yes, we do. So I wrote a list here on how many different things. We have 19 different businesses in the community, not counting the Historical Society, the Chamber of Commerce, the Grant Park Foundation, and the library. Some towns have closed up libraries because they said no one uses them. And we just had Jason at the dollar store. I think you paid him a visit here, if I'm not mistaken.
Not yet.
Okay, well, Jason is just starting off. He's where Nellie's used to be at Leader's Hardware Building. I wished him very good luck, but you know, when you try to tell people what you have here, they look around and say, well, there's nothing here. And I said, well, you got a vitamin company. We have a golf course. We have a nursery. We have a bank, post office, Dollar General. We have a toy store, auto repair, detail shop, custom car sales place, an insurance company, a hairdresser, 3 restaurants, 3 gas stations. There's a lot here. And I probably left somebody off and I didn't mean to, but there is a lot here, but sometimes you can't see it just by looking. When you're out and you see people that, when we had the car show, here's a good example. I talked to people, I said, hey, where'd you come from? I came from Kentland, Indiana. I didn't even know you guys were here. I'm like, wow, really? He goes, yeah. He's, boy, a really nice town you got. I'm like, yeah, we think it's pretty good. So, but how many people go down the highway and go over 7,000 and never go through town? For what reason? I don't know. I mean, they're missing out on some good places to eat and stopping buying some gas and friendly people, and we have a lot to offer. But we have to be our own promoters, and it's going to start with me. When we first moved here, they used to have a welcoming committee that would go to new families and say, hey, welcome to the neighborhood, and they would have coupons from local businesses, and boy, that was great because it made you feel like, hey, they really want me here. You know, I'm part of the community, and we kind of got away from that. So to get that started back up, what I need to do is, and if you hear about a family moving in, reach out and say, hey, we got a family moving in here. I'll go knock on the door, introduce myself, then the trustees like to come, and then maybe we can work from there and say, we'll build up from this. But if you don't welcome people, no one's going to come here. And one of the plans that I have is to try to bring families here. By bringing families in, we'll bring businesses behind them, but they have to have a reason to move here. I'd like to see housing, and I don't really have right now a plan on that. But when people move in the community, where are they going to move to? There's 2 houses or 3 houses available, and that's a choice. If you want to move here, that's the only thing we have right now. So we're going to work on that. I'm going to work on that. You have to be careful that it's the right type of housing, that it's affordable housing. And what I mean by affordable housing, it's something that people can move into and feel comfortable. I talked to our zoning board chairman, and up until we had the 4 houses built, 1 on Clark Street and 3 on Butler, his was the last house that was built here, and that was in 2010. So how come no houses were built here for all those years until the last couple of years? Is there a reason why? Are we not interesting enough of the community? So we have a lot to offer people, and we have to show that. We have to say, hey, we're here. Because I'm trying to think what year it was. I don't remember exactly. Carol and I hadn't moved in here. I was coming through town, and I was working in Moments at the time, and we were doing those bridges over the Kankakee River. And I told her, I said, boy, I really like that town. I'd like to live in a little community like that. So we're still here. And that was a long time ago.
Can I say something?
Yes, ma'am.
So it's very serendipitous because we worked really hard for like 2 years to get down payment money together. We had a very small affordable window. And our house that we live in was being offered by a realtor in South Holland. We lived up in that area. And I didn't know it was gonna be in this town. And when I looked at 15 houses. That was the first one. I never liked another one better. But when I told Ben where it was, he says, that's that town I drove through 5 years ago and said I'd love to live there. So that's a pretty neat story, I thought. Yes.
And then,
7 years.
and then, not long ago, we went looking at, this is off track a little bit, so forgive me. We went looking at, pickup trucks, and I seen the price of a pickup truck, and I said, I didn't spend half that much for the house. So, you know, I could be wrong. I think we spent, 56,000, was that what it was? In the house, for that, and this was in the 80s, and I looked at a truck and it was 90,000. I said, are you kidding me? I paid 56,000 for my house and they want 90,000 for a pickup. So anyway, I didn't mean to get off track there, folks, but, people don't realize we're really a hidden gem, but we have to support each other to make that happen. I don't have all the answers for you, but I will get them, like I said, and we'll learn it together. And we hopefully in the years to come will prosper. We're writing a new chapter for ourselves. And in 4 years, we'll look and see if that chapter was worthwhile. Then I'm not going to make promises that I can't keep to you. That's not fair to the community and it's not fair to the board. I'm going to work as best I can and reach the goals that I want to. Now, one of my goals here is a few things that I've talked about. We had a meeting with Neil last week and he said, what is your plans for the next 4 years? Now, our downtown streetscape beautification plan is the bids will be let out in June. So after 6 years, this is actually happening, which it will happen this year. The time frame on it, they have a gas line they have to do work on Taylor Street. Once that work is completed, it will take 1 year before the beautification will be done. According to Neil, our engineer, he said everybody will love the way it looks and they'll be jealous the way Grant Park looks. And that's what I want to hear. I hate when people say, you see what this community's doing? I'd like them to say, hey, you see what Grant Park's doing? I mean, we have to take advantage of what we have. We have thousands of people that come to Sunshine Nursery to buy flowers. You watch TV and it says, hey, Grant Park, Illinois. And my older daughter worked there and I would say, pretty busy. And they would bring people in on buses and there'd be thousands of people there. So when they're there, I want them to know we're here too. And we would like them to come and visit us. And we are a friendly town. And we're welcoming to them. And I'd like to see families and more kids in school. Our school is a great school and we need to support that. And I support our businesses. But we all have to do that. And we all have to promote the village. And we all have to be our own supporters. You have to support the people next to you. You have to say, I'm on your side. And the only thing is your fellow trustees are the people you can count on. And I am going to support you 100% of it. So when I talked to Neil and I said, that's great. I said, that beautification, I'm looking forward to it. There is going to be disruption in the village. I will take care of that. I will talk to businesses and say, it's going to be a little dusty and messy for a time, but we'll get through this. And I want to take the beautification to the south end of town. And that happens to do with new sidewalks, new lighting, new flowers, new sidewalks on both sides of the street. This is going to hinge on grants and it's going to hinge on TIF. If I don't have a grant for it and I don't have the TIF money, I can't afford it. And I'm going to be honest with you. But if we have those two things in place, that's why TIF is so important to us, to be able to do these capital improvement projects. Without TIF, how am I going to do it? It's not going to happen. And I'll tell you, I just don't have the money. I'm not going to tell you something and it's never going to come true. But I have businesses on the south side, like I have them on the north side, and I have them on the east side, and I have them on the west side. So all the businesses to me are important. Without them, I'm nothing. So we are gonna continue this. He's gonna work up some plans. He's gonna look at some grants and see what we can come up with. And I said, keep me informed. We'll bring it up to the board. You'll have to decide if this is something you want to do with the price tag on it. We will talk at the next meeting about the park in the back, Gilbert Park. We need to come with some decisions, and I'll set up another meeting with Neil. And we have to fine tune it because he needs to know here within a month. Otherwise, the park won't happen. It will lose the grant. And we've already paid some money into the engineering process. So it's gonna be up to the board. It's not gonna be up to me. It's gonna be up to you guys to decide on what you wanna do. I'll be upfront with all you on this, and we have discussed it many times on what's going on. It's not a cheap project, but some of it will be covered under grants, and we'll figure it out from there. I won't put us in a position where we cannot. Matt, please join us up at the table here. For the folks that don't know, this is the chairman of the zoning board, Mr. Matt Schrunt.
How you doing?
So what we were talking about is a 4-year plan and what we got going on here and stuff. Another thing, since Matt is here and I was just about ready to bring it up, we had talked a few things over on the telephone. Matt said, yep, he would be happy to stay on and join us. The only thing that he requested is that he needs to know beforehand. He can't bring his committee together to vote on something when they don't know what they're voting on. So any information I get, I'm going to send it to him, tell him here's where we're at with things. This way he can tell his board to make recommendations that'll come to us, and you guys would decide on what we're going to do. But I understand exactly what he's saying. How can I do anything if I don't know what's going on? So he will know everything. Anytime I have information, I will send it to Matt. He comes back and says, sounds good. We've had a couple things that we have been looking at. Thanks to Chief Fry, we accomplished a couple things on not zoning issues, but a couple things in where somebody wanted to do something and we didn't think it was in the best interest of the village. So I talked to the police chief about it, and we came to a very positive resolution on it, I think. And so that's what it takes. It just takes everybody to be involved in what's going on here. And by doing that, I think we can really accomplish quite a bit. Will everything be perfect? No. And I'm not going to tell you it will be. But I want people to say, look what Grant Park is doing. Not like, look what Momence is doing or look what Mantino's doing. That's totally different. That's a different situation. We're not in that situation. I like it just the way it is here. If I had an endless supply of money, I would give the community everything that they deserve. But unfortunately, we don't have that kind of money. But we are going to work diligently with using the money we have wisely. And we will work as a board and have work with you guys to make the best choices for the community. And the zoning board will play a bigger part on what's going on with our decisions. There's no sense having a zoning board when they don't know anything that's going on and we don't include them. That's why they're a zoning board, will tell us and give us recommendations. So anytime that we meet, and I've told Mr. Schranz that, he sits at the table with us. He's part of the committee with the village. As I explained to the gentleman next to me, everybody that sits at this table has a voice. Some of us are able to vote. Actually, at the last meeting, I thought I got looked over and I was about raising my hands and I forgot that I don't get to vote anymore. But I was in a dollar store and I told my wife this. I was standing in line and the ladies behind me said, there's the mayor. And I turned around and I'm like, there's nobody here. And so she started laughing about it. I'm still, like I told you, I'm not a politician. I'm a retired iron worker and I prefer it that way. So you can call me what you want. I met some gentlemen today that were very nice to me, but I was uncomfortable when they said mayor. Mr. Gessner was very nice. Sheriff Downey was very nice. Jim Rowe was very nice. And they all called me the same thing. And I felt the same way, like there was somebody standing behind me. So,
We're getting used to it.
well, you know what? I'll get used to it in the fact that I know what's expected of me and the challenges ahead, but not to a point where I'm just the same person I was a couple weeks ago. I'm just in a different position now. So hopefully this beautification project continues on. Now, what I was told by Neil, chances are, if this materializes, we can get the grants, we can get started on this. This will not be completed in my term. But if we can get it started and get it going, I think the people on the south end of town deserve it as much as the people on the north end of town. Why would I stop beautification in the middle of the block and say, I'm not, you know, so. Does anybody have any questions for me? At least I'm not putting anybody to sleep yet. Maybe Dennis. But...
No, I'm not saying. I'm still.
Well, if you don't have any questions, if you think about something later, I'd be happy to give you my card. You can contact me. Next meeting, I'll stop promptly at 6:30. We'll do actual village business. I wanted you to understand the direction I'm headed. I'd be more than happy at any time to listen to you. Like I said, I don't have the answers for everything. I will find out the answer and you and I will learn it together. So I will always be fair and honest and open. When we have something, I'll make sure it goes into the community. And when we don't have it, I will tell you that we don't have the money right now. And that's just how it is. We do have money in accounts, but it's not for spending on whatever I feel like. Because if you left it up to me, we'd be broke tomorrow. So this will conclude the first meeting. I appreciate you coming and listening to me. I thought it would be easier to have a meeting of the whole instead of trying to get everybody. Usually we have one, we have it at a separate date. Everybody works. Try to get everybody here and it's like, I can't get there. I'm busy. I'm working, or I don't want to listen to you. And I told a few of the guys, those picnic tables out there are timeout tables. If you're bad at a meeting, I will be nice.
I'll raise my hand, that's for me.
I will open the screen so you can hear the proceedings, but you could sit out there. You could have your choice. There's 3, but you could sit out there and listen to
You
us.
better bring a tushy pad, Dennis.
I got plenty of bad.
So anyway, that'll conclude this meeting. We'll start our next meeting at 6:30.